on ESV Koreign. Now, we've yet to see the third map in our series set, so would you care to tell us a little bit about that map and what we could be seeing should this actually go through into a Game 3?
Well, yeah, we haven't seen the third map as yet. So I didn't play it or either of my group games last week, so I don't actually know how that map plays out really.
The third map, for those of you wondering at home, is actually Odyssey, the third in a set of ESV maps, which actually I rather enjoy. I wish that some of the ESV maps, other than Cloud Kingdom, would actually make their way into a more standard opening. And we see Enever going again. Indeed, and Ohana.
Yes,
but we see Enever again going for perhaps Forge Fast Expand, or maybe throwing down a gateway and going for some early Zealot pressure. But we have here in the bottom left-hand side, spotting down his Chrono Boost right now, and actually just investing a lot more heavily into probes this game. We have Koreign on the top right-hand position, sending out a probe for, is this going to be a forge? It's a gateway. We have, in the rather fetching blood red, bloody with the blood of her boyfriend, apparently, we have Fusion Slugs, Enever. And Koreign also going for a gateway, throwing a lot of Chrono Boost into his probes, getting a pretty standard gas timing. We see that Koreign's actually just going for a much more standard build and focusing a lot more on his probe production and actually jumping into a rather quick probe lead. Fairly standard gas timing from Enever as well. Also throwing down Chrono Boost into her probes, but saving a little bit of Chrono Boost. What do you think we're going to see out of her from this game then?
Gateway expand, I think it's going to be. Interesting that we're in the same position as the game between Enever and Hyrule in terms of bases. Maybe it's forced cross in this map? I don't know.
Quite possibly, that's something we'd have to check.
But yeah, we've seen quite a bit of variety of strategy here. No one's tried just a standard 4-gate or anything like that so far, or anything pretty standard. That's all been a bit crazy.
I believe we could be seeing a 4-gate from Koreign coming up here. He has completely halted probe production, and he's got a lot of Chrono Boost saved up.
Yeah, he's done it in 20 as well. And yeah, it's going to be a 4-gate. So we are going to see one finally. And depending on what Enever does here, she's getting a sentry, which is good. The problem is this ramp and a natural is way too big, the force field.
There's the 4.
She's going to lose. She's going to lose this game just because she can't force fit this ramp.
And we see Enever is going for 2 gateways, quite possibly going to be going for a couple extra sentries and an expand, but she's getting her Stalker out right now. And meanwhile we see Koreign's moving across map with a probe, Stalker and Zealot, and he is actually going to catch this probe. Nope, the probe of Enever just suspect there's something up, either going to the watchtower or going back home. Either way, if Koreign sticks around for too long, this probe is going to scout this, giving her that little bit extra time to prepare. But in her main robotics, she's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean her build's fine if if those buildings were in her main, because she can push the ramp and make it immortal, but she can't do that.
Research complete.
And here come the first 4 Stalkers, 5 Stalkers now. No force fields, and this sentry gets picked off for basically nothing. And that Zealot definitely makes up for itself. Koreign is targeting down this pylon, is going to completely shut down gateway production. If he targets down this pylon, it's essentially game. There we are. It is now one robotics worth of production and a stalker versus non-stop gateway units. We're going to be seeing a good game very soon.
The Immortals can come out, but it's not going to help. Immortals are great, stalkers, but not that many.
And here come the probes. Now, with the probes attacking and this Immortal, it's possible that Koreign will be deflected, but all he has to do is just continue warping in units, not get supply blocked, and he will flat out win this game. We're going to be seeing a GG any second now. It's just a matter of waiting. Back on we do see Enever's got a probe across map, but it's not going to be that effective. Nice micro from this Immortal, but it's just not enough. GG, game 1.
Well, quick game.
Very quick game. You did say we need to speed up, so Koreign obliging and taking the first game 1-0. So, in the top left-hand position, in the blue colours, we have Fusion Slugs, Enever. And down in the bottom right, we still have yet to see any kind of cheese from anybody these games. I'm quite disappointed with that. Based on the bronze, silver, gold mentality of cheese every game no matter what, because it will probably work. We have throwing down his first pylon, Mr. Koreign in the bottom right. And Enever does seem... Well, I would say Fogate is more of a pressure nowadays than an actual cheese. If you go for the Zealot Heavy Korean Fogate, which hits at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, then yes, that is definitely a completely all-in, possibly cheese attack. But a standard Fogate is just a very, very strong pressure, which can be transitioned out of quite easily with a variety of different builds, such as Expansion, Robo, and Continue it all in, or even going for a double expand if you're certain you've done enough damage, then will remain ahead. Now, perhaps this is a stylistic choice, but Enever does seem to enjoy walling off her ramp here.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Really, because I mean, it's not so bad in PvP, but really bad in PvP. But still, I don't think she needs to. You got the ramp, you got the force on the ramp. You don't need a smaller hole in that.
Indeed. We do see that Koreign is slightly further ahead on using his Chrono Boost, and has remained slightly ahead on probe production as a result, but near enough these two are actually quite identical in count. We do see that Koreign is just edging it now, and has actually managed to get his cybernetics core down ever so slightly faster because of that use of Chrono Boost. Meanwhile, we see Enever saving up quite a bit of Chrono Boost here and queuing up... that would be exactly why. She's got 4 probes queued up right now. That is why her cybernetics core and her first zealot have actually been delayed quite heavily.
Yeah, definitely. They need the small things that separate bronze, silver, and gold players to plats is early game macro. I mean, I remember having a chat with Ducky just before the tournament started. We did a practice game, and I did a 3 stalker rush, and came to his base and did so much damage to him, and then from that we transitioned to late game with me so far ahead. But he was like, "How do you have so much stuff so soon?" So I went through the game, the replay again. We went through the early stages, you know, and I was like, "You didn't put a probe here. You didn't put a probe here. You built your gas too soon, so you had to cut another probe. Your pylon wasn't in time." It's just these small things, putting a couple workers down, which is so crucial when 3 stalkers hit his base.
And Koreign. You don't know what you're doing to me, man. I think, based on the amount of gas, we're going to be seeing a 3-gate DT pressure into expand, and there it goes.
Blink, it is blink.
It is blink. Wow. I was actually thinking he would throw down the Dark Shrine, but no, we do have blink. Quite limited production of Stalkers because he has invested into that blink quite early, but this is going to be quite a strong pressure. And versus a 3-gate Robo, however, I feel it's not going to be that effective. We do see Koreign's got good map vision, he's got one of the watchtowers, he should be able to throw down a proxy pylon at the third relatively uncontested, because another thing you can take advantage of at this level is that players generally don't scout out towards their third for proxies, or even for just a probe or a stalker that may be walking around to try and get some extra vision. Guys, looking at Enever right now, you see her vision is limited to pretty much her main base and nothing else.
Now, the other thing Enever's done is built a few sentries. She's obviously paranoid after last game. So he's got 2 sentries up. But they're not going to help much against these blink stalkers.
There's 4 of them. They have been scouted, however. This observer has actually just flown right over them. But I think Enever hasn't spotted it.
She probably just she hasn't seen the pylon, and she hasn't gotten to the base yet to see the Ray.
Indeed.
So.
Now, Koreign's timing is ever so slightly off here. The observer is making its way across the map. So by the time it arrives, he should have another 1 or 2 warp-ins of stalkers. Perhaps get a couple of zealots mixed in to go and harass the mineral line, because he will have the high ground vision and can warp in directly off of this pylon. But going along the shrubbery towards the main is not such a good idea.
Nice blink on the back. But
we see the blink.
How well it's going to work depends on how bad.
And we have 3 zealots.
It's been pretty good.
Their reactions have been quite good, and immediately comes back with the army. And this army, actually, with good force fields, is going to be so scary. And yes, 2 immortals get out just in time, and the move. Oh no!
Oh, that is huge.
A very unfortunate blink. Koreign knows exactly what just went wrong. And should Enever actually
just counter-attack and win this game.
If she decides to counter-push right now and go all in, she will flat out win this game.
And she's not doing it though. She should realize how much she just killed and just go kill him. But she's waiting for something. I don't know what. She is so far ahead.
Indeed, we do have this observer here for Koreign, moving in, trying to spot this army. As yet, he doesn't see any observer with the army, but he knows that the army is actually staying inside the main. The pylon going to get taken out. Any pressure that Koreign can put on is going to stop. And meanwhile, we see a Stargate going down for Koreign.
And really, Enever should go. Like, she should just go. She's being way too passive. She just killed so many stalkers, lost hardly anything.
Indeed.
I mean,
when this observer spots this expansion, she probably will just go across the map and kill him. Because even if she delays this expansion, even if she can't make it up into the main, she's going to lose this observer here. But if she moves in, crushes this natural, she will then actually be able to take her 3rd, take her 4th, tech up, get extra gateways, get the upgrade. She's got a +1 weapons about to finish. She is so far ahead right now. Looking at the units lost tab, 200 resources lost compared to almost 2,000. She didn't actually lose. She lost a single zealot in that attack.
Yeah, she came out of that so well. thing she's going to have to be careful of is letting Koreign back into this game, because economy-wise, she didn't come out ahead. She just came out even. It was the army that she had the lead for. So she's got to be careful she doesn't let him back into that at all. And she, as you say, she really should come down and deny this expansion, and that will give her the economy lead. Then she can sit back and macro, knowing that she's so far ahead. But right now, it's not a big enough lead to do that.
And her production is actually looking perfect right now. She's got a 4th immortal on the way. She's got 5 warp gates. Literally, just take the army, go down here, plant a proxy pylon, move into the 3rd with 1 or 2 units to check if it's there. If it's not there, force field the ramp and kill this natural expansion. But definitely, at the very least, move your army away from your main, put it here by the natural, because you're going to be very, very well defended, and you'll even be able to pick off an observer, such as this one here.
One that's just hanging out, doing nothing.
Indeed. We have +1 armor underway, the Twilight Council, and charge underway as well. We also have Colossus production has started, and extended thermal lance is almost complete. Well, it looks as though Enever likes her macro style play and has actually saved up quite a few minerals. She should be able to move in to take this expansion at her 3rd now. Just spend a few of these resources that she's got. We see Koreign. Is he going to ninja expand with this probe to the top right? Or is he just using this for scouting?
Well, he has gone double Stargate.
And he's getting his +1 air weapons. Are we going to see Void Rays? And lots of Void Rays.
Or 3.
3 now. Lots of Void Rays. And we have 5 Immortals. Holy production, Batman. A 6th one underway. But actually, based on the tech choice of Koreign's opponent, getting Zealot charge, Blink should probably be underway soon. A very heavy charge lock composition will actually murder this immortal heavy composition that Koreign is going for. And frankly, 4 Void Rays do not have the DPS to take it out. But I think we could see a very strong late game push from Koreign if he's allowed to max out here.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the problem that Enever's going to have, is she's let Koreign safely macro up behind his failed attack.
Indeed.
And yeah, now there's a big chance that Koreign can just win this game, where he was pretty much out of it.
He was completely and utterly dead in the water, and now actually Koreign does have a probe lead, and the 3rd expansion is currently up and running. For both players, neither player has actually started to saturate their 3rd bases yet though. Koreign now starting, running a few probes over here. But he has not added his 3rd nexus to his hotkeys yet, which is a interesting choice. Again, this observer from Koreign at the front of Enever's Natural sees absolutely everything, and wow. We have the maynard of 8 probes from the main of Enever over to the 3rd, while she's currently researching Blink.
Yeah, Blink's as good as she's getting Blink. She's still on 1 forge, I believe, which she might want to increase soon. But she does have the upgrade lead. She's at 1 attack and 2 armor.
Indeed.
Just the 1 attack.
With Koreign getting his +2 ground weapons at present, and a fleet beacon.
He's decided that carriers obviously mean instant GGs in this group, so I'll just say Enever might move out. She's at least moving out from her main, which is probably a good move.
And this observer is going to get taken out, or not, surviving with 18 HP.
Disappointing.
And again, going back to our previous discussion about observer speed, should your observer be spotted in a manner such as that, it actually makes it very possible to save it should you notice it being spotted by an opposing army, because an observer with speed moves at a faster pace than a stalker, and actually will be able to outrun a stalker with blink in addition to your opponent's observer.
So
Koreign getting some nice map vision with these proxy pylons, and a couple of zealots being warped in here in the top right, possibly going to move in to try and harass this third, but with 3-4 cannons here, not going to do an awful... That's not a fourth cannon. That's a Dark Shrine.
Dark Shrine, my friend.
Oh.
For some reason, it's in the mineral line, which is an amazing idea considering it's moving the probes around it, but it is there. We do have a second forge now for Enever as well, so she's now getting her +3 armor and a +2 attack that's about to finish. So
Indeed.
give her a good upgrade lead on the ground, especially since we only have +2 from Koreign in one forge. He's not upgrading anything at the moment. But he is getting his air attacks. He's really committed to his air attack.
Indeed. We should be seeing carrier production begin quite soon, because carriers are actually really, really, really good.
Does he have observers?
He's getting some observers from his robotics facility. I would like to see Koreign getting a second one. And oh, DTs! These DTs are going to spots in High Templars for free. Num 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 num. Does manage to snipe 2 of them, but for the cost of 5 DTs...
The Void Rays.
Yeah, she has actually seen the Void Rays, which immediately begins Archon production. And
Yeah, she's
a ninja expansion on the right-hand side here from Enever. And oh, Warp Prism, Warp Prism. Koreign is a Warp Prism transformed at the main of Enever, but he's maxed. He can only get one zealot out of this.
Will Enever overreact by taking a whole army to kill one zealot? I reckon yes. Yes, she does. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Look what's going to happen. Koreign is going to attack
The third
and
base.
kill. Will she kill the Warp Prism? No, she won't. In fact, she's not sure what she's going to do. I think.
Meanwhile, we see Koreign just moves in, says, "Oh, that's a very nice third base you have there." Meanwhile, these Templar do not have Storm.
Oh, but they're so clumped up.
Yes, they are.
If they're clumped up when those Colossi come up there. Oh, bad positioning. Oh, there's a multiple.
Oh, the pathing.
Bad walk path.
But
And that, she should counterattack right now.
indeed,
Killing those
instead of attacking those rocks, destructible rocks just chilling there. Destructible rocks, how are you feeling? You. Well, destructible rocks just doing what destructible rocks do, and obstructing the path of these long-range mining probes, which actually could just go over to this ninja expansion, which is completely established on the right-hand side. And we have Bob the Immortal walking past the watchtower, past this probe, which has actually survived at this watchtower since the very beginning of the game, interestingly enough. Now,
I have some more Archons, I'm pretty sure now.
oh yes.
Never, maybe. No, just Dark Templars so far.
You see Koreign going for a lot of Archons himself.
There's a pretty strong army he's got there.
Indeed, but one thing I worry for, no Colossus. No Colossus compared to the 4 Colossi of his opponent.
The biggest problem he has though is upgrades.
Indeed.
2-0-0 is not going to be great against 3-3. Which is going to be one shield as well for Enever.
Indeed.
Carriers are on the way now, but Enever's playing way too passively, and eventually it's going to kill her.
Well, based on composition alone, it's entirely possible that what is Koreign doing? These probes are on a suicide mission. He's freeing supply for... Now, will this supply turn into extra carriers or a mothership?
I'm so frustrated with Enever just
I'm
so passive.
I'm very confused. He's just sacrificed a large number of probes, and now he's building probes.
Maybe he's just doing it by instinct. He's just putting probes still.
Quite
But Enever's
possible.
maxed again. She really has to push out. She can't just sit here on a maxed army and expect to just win this game. I mean, she's done that in other games, which kind of worked, but
Koreign is actually
if you're going to do
quite
that,
good at strategy and will eventually pick an engagement that will favour him. But this expansion on the right hand side
she needs to
still
add a hell
unscouted.
of a lot more gateways.
Indeed.
She only has a few gateways. She's now adding some more. Now she should add on heaps. Like she should get to 20. There you go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's going to be making a sec.
Indeed.
And that will bring her grand total only to like 13.
We do see that Koreign has actually got a large number of gateways underway as well, however, and is beginning his +3 air attack. Now, I do
That's
actually...
definitely good. He's getting more of an air army too, which is good. But oh, Enever is moving out. Oh my god.
Now, is
Now she has to wait
this...
till the stalkers don't get too far ahead.
Indeed,
Here
but...
we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And oh my god, the Guardian Shield being used to great effect. My game is lagging out considerably. But with these 4 Colossi, the ground army from Koreign is just melting. But he's managed to keep his Colossus alive. And Colossus...
There's going to be nothing
Archons
left in the air army. That's the problem.
Yeah,
So
and we do
there's
see
nothing
that...
left on the ground at all for Koreign, but he does have his air army. And oh, it's going into
But
that
these
cannon
Void Rays have
here.
moved into range of the cannons. The Void Ray numbers are dwindling. He does manage to take out all of the pylons, but too many Stalkers. I think you may have your wish, and Enever
right
may
now-
actually take this game if she attacks now.
She needs more army, and then she needs to push. She should build heaps of something. What is it? Does she have High Templars?
She has Stalkers and Archon. Oh, she has Stalkers and Zealots at her third base. She has a group of Stalkers moving across
Oh
map
wait, she's going
towards
to the
a
exact wrong base.
very large number of cannons.
Don't take that on. That's really silly. Get the hell. And yeah, she's just throwing this game away with. She's just. Right now, she has lots of workers doing nothing.
Well, she has a large number of
lots
them moving over
gateways.
to saturate this base on the right hand side, finally.
That's
but-
good. But she's got lots of gateways that need to transform as well. She has lots of gas and no minerals.
Indeed, and we
That's a big
see
problem right now.
Koreign has actually recognised the weakness of his opponent. He's recognised that she couldn't account for that air army he built before. So he's actually throwing down an extra 2 Stargates. So he's now going to be able to make 4 Void Rays at a time. And we do see the Zealot Archon forces actually taking out the expansion over here. Templar Archives finishes just in time to die. But
Here, she's probably just hold.
Enever's DTs are actually going to hold this off. But there are just so many Zealots doing so much damage.
But these Dark Templars 323, they have so much damage output.
Indeed, 60 damage per attack.
If she goes Dark Templar Stalker and takes the observers with her, she wins this game. But she can't attack this fourth. She should attack the third and the and go into the natural and the main. It battled that
Indeed.
fourth. It's only got cannon and it's mining. It's always doing all the production is elsewhere. Kill that, and you win this game.
A very nice snipe on this proxy pylon, and Enever is doing exactly that. Sending this DT Stalker Archon force over to take out the more standard 4th position base, and we see that Koreign realizes just these zealots cannot take this out. But again, there is no observer with this army. So if Koreign engages this directly, he is going to flat out lose this entire army. The Stalkers, they've managed to get underneath the Void Rays. Archons versus Void Rays, not usually a good scenario.
She's done the right move now. This is the base you want to go for. Don't worry about going for that big over-defended cannon thing. Kill the production.
Indeed.
Kill the DTs though. And the observers.
She pulls back the DT quite nicely. But she does finally lose it. I would have liked to have seen her continue with the DT pressure, rather than morphing in the additional Archons, because Stalkers can take care of these Void Rays in such low numbers.
She needs to focus fire. Yeah, she needs to start killing these actual Void Rays instead of just hanging around things. She's doing that now.
She does that now.
These Archons, a lot of damage as well. She's just gonna fight the right thing.
Indeed.
Okay.
And she's finally got the advantage here.
Wow.
These Stalkers are going to finish taking off the Archons, and now the 3rd base is ripe for the picking, but Koreign actually manages to get all of these probes away. But that was so many probes over at that base. But we have a GG!
Okay.
We're not going to have our best of ones.
Yeah, it's a TVW map. So yeah, as I said, I never got to play on it, so I'll be probably looking around the map a little bit while we start. Have you played mini games on it, Jed?
I've played a couple of games, and I find it plays out very much in the same way that Daybreak normally would. However, you tend to be expanding in a progression towards your opponent as opposed to away. Therefore, this map does very heavily favour 2-base play, or a very strong macro orientation, or a very passive style of play. So it could actually favour Enever's playstyle in this game if she decides to macro up and actually not be as aggressive. However, there is a titanic main with lots of surface area for blinking into or trying to do a lot of harassment.
Definitely. And your eyes do not deceive you, there are gold mineral patches on this map.
Indeed, over in
They do still exist.
They do still exist. Oh, do you remember when mules used to collect like 42 minerals from a rich patch? That was horrible. I remember that's why they changed it on Antigua Shipyard.
Yeah, well I remember on Metal, when they were gold in the middle, that Zergs would just natural expand there and hope you didn't notice, or Terran would fire their command center there at the start and hope you didn't notice and just kill you with some crazy poor racks or something.
Indeed. We have a very quick scout from Enever moving in. Not going to see anything particularly unusual. Definitely going to make sure that there's no proxies inside the base. And we see Koreign again going for quite heavy pro production, managing to get out his gas actually ever so slightly behind Enever this time. Gateway is about the same time. Koreign delaying his gas, perhaps not going to be going for the blink play again this game, but both of them maintaining decent pro production and staying relatively level. So, in the red in the top left hand side we have Enever. Right hand side in the rather fetching blue, same as those lovely mineral patches which he's currently mining, with ever so slightly less probes than his standard. Because he's just put 3 into gas, we have Mr. Koreign. Now, on Thursday, we have more entertainment for you. Mr. Ben, would you care to tell us a little bit about what people can expect on Thursday?
Yeah, we have the final groups. So we have Group B from both tiers, and that will, who is that? Check. We have, for Tier 1, we have Chiller, Esk and Battletoast, which should be a great group as well. Chiller's been pretty outstanding for us in Clan War games lately. Battletoast obviously is a Masters protoss as well, so that they'll have a good battle there, another PvP battle. And unfortunately, I think Group B will be, for Tier 2, will be just one game because Wolfram is probably going to pull out due to studies. So we'll just have Zomagod Rockle and Killian.
Well, that's going to be a very interesting game, because as we've seen throughout the history of the clan, those two have had quite a very strong rivalry throughout. Especially of late, since both of them hit gold, and now Zomagod Rockle has actually managed to push on into platinum. Very nice denial of scouting there by Enever, just sniping off the probe. Now Koreign did actually get a little bit of vision. Did he see the robotics? No, because there is no robotics. Until just now. He did see that there's a second gateway, but he doesn't know about the robotics, he doesn't know about the third gateway, but it's fairly standard if you see this many gateways and this little chrono boost. It's entirely possible he could be thinking of a 4-gate. So getting his immortal, he's got a sentry back home, and he's got his 3 gateways. He should be perfectly fine against any kind of pressure that comes his way. And he does have probes moving out across the map to actually just scout this. Now, I'm not so sure I like Enever's decision here to go for the warp gates so aggressively, because she isn't actually placing a proxy bomb or trying to be aggressive with a push here. Does snipe off this probe, which is a nice catch, but she doesn't really appear to be doing anything with the early warp gate. She's accounted for a 4-gate, should it actually come her way, but with her scouting, I believe she did actually see that robo. Or did she? Yeah, she saw the robo, so she should have known that there was no strong danger of a push coming her way, and therefore she could have actually invested that chrono boost into probe production. But
Yeah.
she does have a very
an
quick
interesting thing
expansion.
to point out, for the group itself, Enever's actually won the group, regardless of this game. Because if she loses, she has the best map score with 3 wins.
Indeed.
In fact, this game is irrelevant because Koreign can't come anywhere but last either. So we actually have our group decided from that last game. So kind of interesting. This
Indeed.
game is really just about going through the motions for both players, even though they probably don't realise that.
It would be entertaining if they did realise it and decided to just go with some utterly crazy strategy, such as a 1-base Colossus push, which is coming right now.
Yes, it will be.
And it's been spotted.
Yeah, I don't think they probably have worked it out in their heads. If it is all over. But regardless, you still would like to take that. Koreign hasn't got a win yet in this group, and I'm sure he'd like to take one out. I mean, if you finish last, you'd rather finish last by the closest margin possible. So, I mean, he's played well today, so he probably does deserve a match, a best of 3 wins. So, we'll see what happens with this push.
Well, it will be very interesting to see how all-in he decides to go behind this push. Is he going to go completely all-in with the second Colossus, which is almost completed? Or is he going to actually just pressure, perhaps see what's up there, and then expand? But looking at Enever's positioning, 1 or 2 force fields from Koreign will actually trap this entire army in a very small choke. There's one. And oh, he doesn't take it. But looking at that force field positioning,
Colossi, he's going to wait.
He's just waiting for the second
wait for
Colossus
that,
now. He's going to get a second warp in. But 1 or 2 good force fields will actually crush this army. We see 1 Colossus goes down.
Focus down though.
Indeed. We see Zealots coming in from Koreign.
Yeah, but he marks it
and
back. And he's
there are just so many Zealots here. So many Zealots, force fielding his Zealots away from actually getting up that ramp. But what I'd like to see Koreign do, rather than try and push up that ramp, causing so many losses like he just took, he can actually just go for this natural, force field the ramp again, to prevent his opponent actually get anything down the ramp, and just completely crush this natural. Because he's continuing his warp-ins and actually building gateways in the middle of the map, because warp gate is not good enough. But GG. Koreign manages to take out that game and gets his best of 3, I'd say actually a deserved win out of that series.